So here you have the Jet Parahawk, 88 pounds of thrust as a single jet version, more than enough power. We've got a nice solid cowling at the back to stop any lines hitting it, and they can roll off nice and easily. We've got a harness, and this harness is with a high attachment points, but we have got a harness we've been working on, which once we finish testing it will be the typical hip attachment point. What we've got here is the radio on the front, the control box on the front, and your throttle. We'll go into all that much later. This is a water emergency version as well, so you've got a cutaway handle here. Got the reserve parachute. We can change the auxiliary bag to one side and put a flag on. We are jumping 200 square foot flags and 500 square foot flags. Okay, so this Jet Parahawk, as you can see there, the weight 28 kilos. 28 kilos with a full tank of fuel. It's got an 88 pound of thrust jet, which is the medium size. It's got the reserve, and basically it's everything you need to start flying. So when you start prepping the jet for flight, obviously you've got a plug at the bag you've got to take off. We've also got a plug at the front as well, so nothing can get in the air intake and nothing can get in the exhaust, so you keep the jet properly protected. If you've got the plug out, then make sure the wind isn't blowing in that direction. The wind should be blowing this direction. If you do that, then nothing will blow into it as well, so we're keeping that prepared as much as possible. Once we finish flight, this is quite hot. It gets up to 800 degrees. By the time you put it down on the box, it'll be 500, 400 degrees. In that case, it's too hot to put the plug back in. So again, don't face it into wind. When it's cool enough, then put the plug back in and seat it so nothing can get inside. When you remove the protectors, put your hands around the back and you can remove the back protector, the air inlet. They're just magnets plugged together, and that stops anything getting in the back. When you take that off, then you take this off. They come off as a pair. I've seen people take this exhaust one off, leave this on, and go and hook their wing up to try and launch. Keep them as a set. As the fuel is being used, the air goes into this to equalize the tank, so that has to be removed at the same time. Keep these three as a set. Always make sure you've got all of them together before you put the Jet Parahawk on your back. Okay, so before you even think about flying, do a full inspection on the equipment. Now, anybody who flies the Jet Parahawk will be an experienced paramotor pilot, therefore you know how to do all the normal checks. You can start at the harness, do all the harness checks you would normally do, check the reserves connection, check everything is properly connected and ready for assembly in. Make sure it's secure to the actual frame at the back. Check the cowling is properly tightened up. Check the actual jet itself. You've got everything loose and ready to start. You've got the frames in good condition, no loose bolts, anything else. At the back you've got stainless steel fuel pipes and stainless steel and A&N hardware connectors. Makes it really secure. You're feeling for any leaks, you're looking for anything that's not taut or not tight. Especially the fuel tank is full and properly taut up, and this is your breather pipe. There's a one-way valve in there so air can go in, fuel can't come out. We tried to make this machine 100% kerosene free, so everything stays inside the fuel tank and the fuel system, and you don't get any kerosene on the outside, on the harness or anywhere else. Before you start to put the actual harness on, undo the chest strap, make it as long as you can. Make sure the chest strap, the shoulder straps are as long as you can. It makes it easier to put on in place. Undo the waist strap, move all that off to one side, and then undo the actual leg straps, ready for fitting. The advantage of this over a paramotor is you don't pick it up and put it on your back and tighten it up. You can actually sit in it before you connect up. Once you sit on the box itself, ready for connection, do the leg straps up, and there's nothing in between you and the harness itself. do the leg straps up. So your leg straps are already in place, and you go from there. Now, well, you can see your harness, your shoulder straps. Because you've extended them, it's quite easy to get your arm through there and that and in place, and the same the other side. Right. Once you've done that, make sure the harness is free, and then you pull the chest strap up. Make sure the harness is out, and then you can pull the chest strap on. It goes without saying that this shoulder strap and the chest strap is to keep everything from falling off your shoulder during a forward launch. I've seen people connect it up around the actual harness itself, so that's something to be careful of. So if you keep your harness out, you can now make sure you've got that secure where you want it. Now, your belly strap. Adjust your belly strap where you want it. Again, it's out underneath the harness. Look at the other side, pull out the chest strap and click it in place. Again, make sure it's underneath the harness. So tighten your belly strap up so that's all held in place, you've got no loose straps there. So what you've got now, your checks, 2 leg straps. Check the actual harness is free and not caught anywhere. And now you've got your shoulder straps, and now you've got your 2 adjusters which you tighten up before you stand up. So the harness is on, you're ready to go. The last thing you need to do now, take off the throttle. The throttle is a very simple open glove which you just slide your fingers through, slide your thumbs through, make it down your back, and now you've got your hands free to work with the wings. You can put a glove on before you put this on, so it just you depend on what size you use. You've got small, medium and large. The throttle itself is a very light thumb throttle. You can forget about it when you're working with the wing. When you want power, your thumb comes up, goes straight on the throttle. Don't be aggressive, don't really force it down, it's just a light throttle. You get 0% power to 100% power. Here you've got your radio. Obviously you plug your radio into your helmet, all ready to go, and then you've got your display unit facing you here, and you've got your start switch. This start switch, you lift it up and move all the way forwards to start the jet. There's no battery in at the moment and it's not switched on, so nothing will happen. You lift it all the way up and pull it back 1 stage in the middle and let it down, and that's the cool down phase. You lift it up and pull it back, that's the off phase. So it's a lock-in switch. You have to lift it up to move it in place. Right? Get used to that, and again, don't be aggressive. There's no need to bend and bang it. Just make you lift it up fingertips and move it in place. Right? When the engine's starting, you've got everything in front of you, and you can see that you've got enough battery power. You can see when it started up, and then it tells you when you're ready to fly. It will say started up, and you go from there. Now you can stand up, hold on to the 2 shoulder straps, the chest strap, hold on to your chest strap, stand up, pull it high on your shoulders. The design of this is so it goes high on your shoulders. Pull the chest strap down to where you want it, and go from there, and then you're ready to fly. The reason it's high on your shoulders is it's supposed to be a solid mass. Wherever you turn your back, it's going to stay. So if you're doing a reverse launch, you can look at it, and it's high on your shoulder, that it's easy to actually keep it where you want it. If you don't tighten these up, and it's low down on your back, the angle changes quite a lot, and now how you see it's holding down. I've seen pilots launch like this, and it's bouncing all over the place, wobbling up everywhere. It's not a good thing to do. It's designed to be high. And 2 reasons for that. So, get these, adjust it, put it high on your shoulder, and put it in, and then adjust the chest strap to where you want it. And that's you now ready to go to your wing, connect your ring up. Now, the angle of the jet, when you're launching, if you're running forward and your back's straight, the jet should be level in that position. If you're running forward like this, which I've seen a lot of people doing now, they're running, they're powering the jets up, it's actually not going to help at all. If you need to run like that to get your wing off the ground because you've got a really small wing and there's no wind, and you're leaning forward, run, inflate your wings, get it above the jet blast, And as it comes above your head, straighten your back, power up, and then run and launch. No good trying to launch doing this. I've seen people do it. It doesn't look very professional, and it's not going to help the launch. Okay, so the importance of the suspended harness test is to make sure that this attachment point here is properly adjusted. This is your adjustment strap here. Some harness you've also got you've got 3 attachment points. Basically this angle is important for your body shape and weight. If you look at the Jets right now, you can probably see it's not horizontal. I can feel it because I'm sat back in the seat and my legs, my knees are really high. Basically I need to shorten this side here and then to bring the Jets up something like this. So I'm going to readjust it and reset. To measure now from the carabiner to the adjustment buckle, and I've got 170 centimeters. That's the shortest adjustment you can do here. You can extend it and go a lot further, and that's how you adjust it to make sure it fits and you've got the right angle of the jet itself. Okay, it's a very comfortable fit now. You see the V point here. This is on the shortest distance it can be, and this suits me. It brings me forward enough that I can't tell at the moment, but I think the jets should be fairly horizontal. I'm going to check them in a minute. When you're launching now, as you're launching, as long as your back is straight, the jet should also be horizontal backwards. So there's two checks to do. One is launching with a straight back, and 2, in a harness to see this point in the direction. Then you know you've got the harness adjusted correctly. When you are launching, you can run with a straight back, and it'll keep the jet in position. If you lean forwards, obviously it's not going to help you. And if you lean back, it's not going to help you. So you just need a straight back. And you can adjust that to here, so you get to know where you adjust as you're running off. Once your wing is above the jet back, then you need to straighten your back as you keep running, as you're powering up. So the jet is horizontal forward. So you're learning it in that direction. So that's your launch direction. When I'm leaning forwards and I want to run, and I'm inflating the wing on a forward launch, you can run like that because you're not putting any power on your jet while you're actually getting the wing above your head. Once the wing's above your head and you're running, that's the time to use the power, and that's the time to straighten your back, almost arch a little bit, and keep running as you're putting the power on. And then that'll keep the blast going straight horizontally from the rear. The second part of checking it is to make sure that as you're sat in the harness, the jet is also horizontal behind you. If you can't launch by running it and it being horizontal, and you can't sit in it by being horizontal, keep changing the angle of adjustment on these points here until you've got somewhere in between both, so it's perfect for you. When you have launched, however, you can loosen these off. You don't have to have them tight all the time. Just lean back a bit, loosen them off a little bit, give you a bit more freedom. It won't make much difference to the back at all. So now we just want to have a quick word about water landing. What we've got here is a cutaway handle on the left hand side here. You pull that, it releases the leg straps and the chest straps, and you can swim out the harness really easily. However, it's like anything, it's no good having a safety system and not knowing how to use it. For an example, you know if you pull your reserve and drop it, it's not going to be very effective. But if you pull your reserve and throw it away, it's going to be very effective. So you've got to know how to use something at the same time. What we've got here is a harness which is designed for a good launch and a good flight. And then you have to make some changes if you're going to fly over water. First thing you would do is the top chest strap here, undo the chest strap, move that off to one side. You don't need that if you're flying over water. The actual shoulder pads themselves, you don't need them tight because you're not launching. So it opens up the harness a lot, makes it easy to escape from before you hit the water. So those are the things you'd prep before you fly over water. You can't fall out the harness because you've still got your chest strap on, you've still got your leg straps on very securely. You're still attached with the throttle though, so you've got a very simple throttle system. So if you know you're going to fly over water, then don't use the glove. Right? Take the glove off, hold the throttle as you'll have it, so your hand wrapped around the throttle so you can still fly. Grab your control toggle, you're flying over water, you've still got power. And then if you've got plenty of height of flying over water, you can leave the pad where it is. However, if you're close to the water at low level and there's any chance of you hitting the water, you want to prepare for yourself a little bit more. I would actually peel that Velcro off and let that loose free. The reason I would do that is you can now grab that with either hand, pull it in any direction, it's going to release. If it's the Velcro's in place and you try and pull it against the yellow cable without peeling it, it's very difficult to remove. So if it's in place there and you want to release it, you grab it, you peel and then pull. But if you pre-prepped it by undoing it, you're there ready to go. You can now come in my choice, I would land facing into wind. The reason I would do that is because I would flare my wing, slowest impact over the water as possible, and then I want the wind to put the canopy behind me. The reason for that is I can then swim forwards out of the highs and keep going, and I'm not going to get entangled with the lines afterwards. So let's go through a water landing. I would flare. As I'm flare, I'd then let go of everything. I'm going to stand up for this because I'll fall over. I'll let go of everything. But basically, this red handle, you just pull that red handle and you swim out. So your arms come in, you just swim out and walk away from the harness.